Hey there kids, it's me, MrCreepypasta, and because it's my birthday, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. We're not doing stories today. I have this list. I got it from my friend Creepy during one of their streams when we were ranking all the creepypastas that were suggested to them. If you want to see that, click up there. If not, we'll get started. Okay, so Candle Cove. Candle Cove is mostly puppets, if I remember correctly. It's all mostly puppets. Are the puppets that didn't exist? It's a children pass. Ed and Eddie lost episode. It's a lost episode creepypasta. They're all about like I remember only one scene, honestly. The one scene where Eddie is on the ground and he is like, I think it's Eddie or it's Double D running in a circle screaming nonstop. Pass. Hard pass. Normal porn for normal people. I remember. Okay, I think I have a vivid memory of this one because it was. There was a on at least on the Wikipedia. I'm pretty sure I used the same thing in my video. It was like there was a chimpanzee screaming was the thumbnail, and that was the image that was on the Wikia. And I don't remember everything. I know it had like some kind of like. There was a whole bunch of videos on the website. So, and none of them were actually porn related, except for one where there like was a monkey that fucked a chick. So pass. Lavender Town Syndrome. Do you refer to like the actual syndrome, or do you refer to the actual like, in story of Lavender Town Syndrome was like the sounds that played during the Lavender Town music were driving kids crazy, and they would so there's no Pokemon. There's no Pokemon involved. Honestly, it's just the syndrome. Pass. Russian sleep experiment. That's a classic. That's a real classic. So that one was all a bunch of guys inside of a room, and they were being experimented on by keeping them awake. And at one point, they killed one of the guys and they stuffed his meat into the drains so that like all the water would build up. And then they pulled out their own organs and they laid them out around each other. And then eventually, like they started like. The guys came in and they were like, oh, we're gonna save your lives, and then they didn't want to be saved, and they were really scary, like overly powerful. They couldn't put their organs back in. The minute they fell asleep, they died. Pass. The back rooms, I know very little about. I almost feel like that's evolved beyond creepypasta stuff. I know that it's like a liminal space, so you've got like you've got like liminal spaces, but then I ended up learning that there's more to it. Like there's multiple levels down that you can go to in multiple areas that are just liminal, but not necessarily the office or those yellowed back rooms. Is glitching out of reality. Oh, but glitching out of reality. No longer being a part of reality. Pass. Cupcakes. Cupcakes is a My Little Pony like torture porn creepypasta. So that was all Pinkie Pie cutting into Rainbow Dash and like making jokes about her organs and stuff when she got like her organs pulled out. Remember that? I didn't like that one actually. I didn't like that one back way back when. I didn't like that one, but that was really popular. Back when bronies were a really big thing, that was really popular. Pass. Why did I think about that? Pass. Why did I think about that? Lost Silver. Lost Silver was a Pokepasta. That was one where Silver from Gold and Silver, if that's what you refer to him as, or whatever his name was at the time. I don't remember what the actual Pokemon like series gave him a name of, but I know he was called Silver in that one. Pretty sure this was Snow on Mount Silver. Was that? Am I thinking of Lost Silver or Snow on Mount Silver? Or was it the same thing? I think this is the one where he gets his arms and legs cut off, and he's climbing Bellsprout Tower. There's been a lot of them that get real similar, and I feel like this one was Lost Silver. By the way, I haven't looked these up, okay? So this is purely out of my memory. And I want you to look. There's like 3,000 or some odd videos on the channel, okay? So give me a break if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's it. So the only real character I can think of in this one is either the Bellsprout Tower or Silver. In Silver's case, pass. Bellsprout Tower. Bellsprout Tower. Pass. Bellsprout Tower. Pass. Homicidal Lou. I didn't read this one. I'm aware of the creepypasta monster. I haven't read this one. I'm not a big fan of like the spin-off characters very much, especially ones where like, well, I'm in the group that says Lou was murdered. Okay, at the end of Jeff the Killer, Lou was murdered. He got stabbed to death. That was the big point. That was the point of no return for Jeff the Killer, was that he killed his brother. His brother, he was diehard, going to sacrifice his own sanity to save. He does not recognize and murders him. Pass. Ben Drowned. Okay, I want to say right now, I never understood why Ben Drowned was such a thing on DeviantArt where people wanted to make him sexy. Like, I didn't understand that, okay? Like, I get, like, especially because we never really see him as, like, a character. We always just saw him as, like, the elegy statue, right? So we never actually got like a Link looking Ben Drowned. He was never a character that walked around. He never interacted. He was only like either in text or he was shown to be the elegy statue. That's it. So I didn't really understand where like the sexy Link with the bleeding eyes came from. I want to see a sexy Link, but just put the actual elegy statue face on him. That would be more accurate. Either way, pass. Slenderman. That's classic character. Everybody knows who Slenderman is. Every I'm trying to think. There's multiple iterations of what Slenderman is, and every single one of them. Every single one of them. Smash. Dear Abby, I actually really loved this story when I did this one. This one was like a really creepy story. I did this one also where I was reading it. I did a narration for this one years ago. I'm relatively certain there was an MCP horror reboot where I redid it as well. Both times when I did it as if like the main character who's the stalker, he's like a stalker of this one girl, where I think he stays under her bed or he stays in the vents in her house. And I remember at the very end, like the big twist to the end was, spoiler if you haven't heard it, he locks her into a storage unit with him where they're going to be locked in there until they basically starve to death. But for him, for like the stalker, he was like, oh, this is fantastic. Oh, this is like the ultimate showing of love. And I remember doing the narration of that one. The character I was playing, I thought the creepiest and like the best way to portray him was that he would have to be he would have to view this as not like a horror story, but he would have to view this as like a romance story. Like he was playing out his own romance story. So I tried that. I think it came off really well. I think he's like a horribly disgusting character, who the way that he kind of like ends up being portrayed. So pass. As much as he's like, yeah, this is a romance for me, pass. Squidward's Suicide. Red Mist, same story, different titles. I think one more friendly for the YouTube side, the other one less friendly for the YouTube side. The only character I can think of that shows up in it is literally Squidward. But there are a couple of other characters we talk about who's interns at Nickelodeon. Main character, intern at Nickelodeon. Squidward, pass. Interns at Nickelodeon. Smash. Why? Talent. Jeff the Killer. And if you haven't heard the Jeff the Killer story at this point, I'm 11 years into my career. I don't know if I can redo it again in any way that I haven't already done. I've redone it with Ed and Eddie sound effects. I don't think I can redo this another way. Jeff the Killer. Jeff the Killer is, it just, okay, I'm going to say this. You guys watch that video that I just talked about up there. The rankings. You know, I have this weird love-hate relationship with Jeff the Killer because one, Jeff the Killer is Jeff the Killer. But two, I feel like Jeff the Killer is the closest thing we have to like a slasher villain that actually just transcended the medium of what we have. The version that Banning K made of Jeff the Killer, for Jeff the Killer 2015, if you haven't heard that one, it's a fantastic story. Check it out, read it, watch it, listen to it. It's a fantastic story. The series goes on from there. It's just banger after banger when it comes out of that series, because it turns Jeff from being this loosely created OC character who just go and this projection character to have revenge on bullies into something that's just this crime drama that of murder and cults and wild. It's great. Original Jeff the Killer, pass. 2015 Jeff, maybe. Ooh, no. 2015 Jeff. 2015 Jeff, smash. I said it. Put it on the time. Put it on the thing. I said it already. Smash. Jane the Killer, smash. No One House. No One House didn't have any characters except for the main character who's talking and the house. I guess there were other characters. I really loved this story. I loved this series. I loved everything in No One House, honestly. Even the television show that they created with No One House, I thought was pretty okay. I'd smash the house. I'm not explaining that. Smash. Where the Bad Kids Go. Didn't really have a character. The only characters I talked about was like what are TV execs. This story was about like a television show that the main character managed to watch. And he doesn't remember very much, but he remembers that at the end of it, it says like, this is where the bad kids go, and there's like screaming and kids and all things like that. And then he remembers going to the studio at one point. I'm pretty sure he goes to the studio at one point, and then he sees like there's a room that has like blood and bones or something like that, and then there was like a cage with a microphone on it, and like, oh, this is where the bad kids go. Like they actually put kids here. Pass. I don't get it. I don't think my memory is good enough to be smash pass on that one. Cell phone game. I love this because it's a game creepypasta, but it has a good story. I don't think there's any real like good characters to really say like who is the central character, sexy characters in the cell phone game. There's just characters. God, I just remember there was that one guy in it who had the armband and the leg thing, Rodmeister or something like that. Rottweiler. I don't remember his name. God, it's been so long since I've done that one. Pass. Follow Me was another one based off of Lavender Town. Follow Me was, I think, an elevated version of what Lavender Town was. Lavender Town was just a very small theory thing. It was like a rumor kind of creepypasta from the early days. Follow Me, I thought, was a better version of it. But even still, I didn't pass on Lavender Town. Pass on Follow Me. Oh god, Snow on Mount Silver showed up. I don't remember the difference. I think this is about going onto Mount Silver to find Red, but then not being able to find, and then like freezing to I don't remember Snow on Mount Silver. Pass. Seven Deadly Sins. Creepy was very excited about this one, and I didn't remember it that much. I just remember that it was a story that was told from two perspectives, one of which assumed that, I think it was like a father that assumed that they were fighting off demons of the Seven Deadly Sins, and then the other one was from the perspective of either a son or daughter, child, that kind of revealed that like the father was insane and he was enacting all these tortures onto his children or his child instead of like actually fighting demons, and he was actually a terrible person. So pass. Sonic.EXE was a story video game. A lot of people really like this one. I'm a very big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog myself. I don't know if I smash. I don't think I smash. I think I pass. I don't understand the sexy Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, can I say that? Absolutely. I was a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog since I was a child. Don't understand sexy Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna hard pass. That's a hard pass. I don't understand it. You can't search Sonic the Hedgehog on the internet these days without looking at pictures of his feet. And I don't get it. Okay? Pass. Baraska. Absolutely phenomenal series. I'm like, obviously, like, there's no, like, when I recorded Baraska, I didn't know it was going to end up having so much of a dark sexual element to it. And like, I almost, at the end of it, I was like, oh god, I don't want to do this, because I don't do a lot of any of that kind of stuff on my channel, but like, it was just too good. The story was just hammered in so well. I mean, like, obviously for me, pass. I'm not gonna smash. Not in this world. Not in that realm. None of that for me, buddy. The story's incredible. Doors is about a dog. Spoiler! If you haven't heard Doors, it's a great story. There's a twist in it. It's about a dog. Pass. The Runners. The Runners is a series from Unsettling Stories. It's about a set of mushrooms. We don't know where they come from. We don't know what they do. All we know is that they have different adverse effects on people. Most of them involving a huge amount of gore, but also excellent aphrodisiac. Smash. The Puppeteer. There was 2 stories about the Puppeteer. I remember one of them, very vaguely. I remember the character wonderfully. My friend Bleeding Heartworks worked on that character. Oh my god, my brain just went to a terrible... That just went to a very Smash. Eyeless Jack. This is not an Eyeless Jack mask. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's not. I've been wearing this for years. I was wearing this before Spider-Man Homecoming came out. They stole it from me. You keep that little fact in your back pocket. Eyeless Jack. Smash. NES Godzilla. Oh god. NES Godzilla was one that I actually get asked a lot to redo, and it's very long, and I don't know if I can. The only real the Godzilla's in it, but he's like a pixel Godzilla. There's Red. He's the big monster in it that's in it. Pass on Red. Smash Godzilla. And I dare you, ask yourself, would you not do the same? SuicideMouse.avi, SuicideMouse.avi, Mickey Mouse, pass. Jason the Toy Maker, ooh, Jason the Toy Maker. They got Chuck Huber on here, dude, the Toy Maker's voice. He was great. Oh, of course he's great. He's fucking great in everything he's in. But like, yeah, that was good. Smash. Yeah, smash. I work at a museum for the rich and famous. That was a great series. Honestly, I want to do more from that author because I think that that was mint. Characters in it. There's a couple characters that were in it. I think it was like Puppet, the main character, the rich people that were evil. But then there was Mariette. Ooh, Mariette. Smash. Smash Mariette. Everything else, pass. Symmetry was a man. Symmetry I did live at conventions for the longest time, where there's about a guy whose eyes are 2 different colors and he has to have everything like be symmetrical in his life, and he's like, oh, pop out his eye, and he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna pop out the other one, and he does, and then he's happy about it. It's incredibly gory, and it's really like, ooh, when he's like cutting his eyeballs out. Pass. Game of Flashlight Tag, I want to say it was from the first year I ever recorded anything. I'm really surprised people still have that like as one of their things they wanted to keep on here. Game of Flashlight Tag, I can't even remember it. I don't even remember what happens in it. Obviously I remember there was like flashlight tag involved. Was this a Slenderman story? I can't remember. Pass. I can't remember it. Gristers, tiny little things that feed on fear. I don't remember how it ended. I remember there was like one that was like huge because there was a kidnapped victim underneath a house, and this guy like freaks out, and then the more he noticed them, the more they start to notice him. Pass. I don't even know how that would work. Pass. Smile Dog. Smile Dog is 2 different entities that I've seen him described as, one of which is just the image, smile.dog, which is a Polaroid. It has the husky, and it has the hand, and it has the window. The other thing was like a demon where he like follows you around, and either way, both dogs pass. The Showers was a fantastic series. I'll say the first one I thought was good. The same author came back like 2 years-ish later, 3 years later. It was like, messaged me on Tumblr of all places. And was like, hey, you get a narration of the last one? Yeah, I did more. I was like, what? Yeah, I did more. And he sent them to me. And I was just like, holy shit. They're so good. If you haven't seen the Shower series, check them out. They're great. Can't think of a single thing, even in the monster fucker part of my brain that works there. Pass. Pokemon Black, Pokemon Creepy Black. It's literally a story about like a game cartridge, it's a haunted game cartridge. This is a classic one though. Pokemon Creepy Black is about you have Ghost is one of your starter Pokemon. You can use Ghost to be able to kill anything inside of the game, including all Pokemon, including all trainers. And then at the very end of it, once you've beaten the entire game, you have to walk all the way back to the very beginning of the game. And then you battle against Ghost yourself as Ash or Red or however you want to see it. And then you can't do anything but struggle, which does nothing. And then you slowly use struggle until you die. And there's no real purpose of it. I think somebody's made an actual hack of that. You can get the game online, you can play it yourself. You see the disturbing messages in it and all that kind of stuff. To the Ghost. Oh, smash. Mr. Widemouth. Fantastic story. It's not the classic. Mr. Widemouth is about a little Furby looking thing that was like this with his kid while he was sick. And then it tries to kill him in multiple different ways, trick him into hurting himself. Kid's a lot smarter, and then eventually, like, the kid has to move away. Mr. Widemouth is like, oh, I'm going to take you up that trail one day when you're ready. You're not ready yet. And then the kid moves away without telling him because he doesn't trust this little gremlin. And one day when he comes back as an adult, up that trail he sees is like a graveyard full of kids' graves because Mr. Widemouth murdered them because he's a terrible person. Pass. Happy Appy. Smash under the heel of my boot repeatedly. Okay, so I will give this the benefit of the doubt. Happy Appy was a blog series. It does not work when you're trying to read it as like a full story. I get that. Totally understand that. It's just not gonna work in that way. Nonetheless, I hate the image of it. I hate the story of it. I hate how it flows together. I was not a fan of Happy Appy at all. Annoying Orange, the creepypasta, didn't care for it. Pass. Smash violently, and not in a smash way. Herobrine. God help me, I know that people would... I've seen enough. I've been on the internet long enough to know that people would... I don't get the Minecraft... Herobrine is a Minecraft creepypasta about a character that... I don't get. It's haunted. I think it's supposed to be like Notch's brother developed Minecraft, and then his soul got stuck. I don't remember the story. All I know is that he's Steve from Minecraft with no eyes. I don't get it. It's certainly not sexy. Pass. Strangled Red. It's about Red. No. It's about Red's father, I think. And because you come out from like the side of Pallet Town. You don't come out of regular Pallet Town at the beginning of it. And you place the game normally, but with Charizard. And then the Charizard dies at one point. It's been too long. And then I don't remember exactly how it ended. Pass. I don't get it. I'm a fan of playing the Pokemon games, not a fan of Vaporeon. The Rake. I did a comic book featuring the Rake along with Vince Vicava a couple years ago. Very good. I really liked it. I think you can still get it on Amazon. Smash. Dead Bart. Pass. Dead Bart's a Simpsons creepypasta. I feel like Simpsons creepypastas weren't even needed, but I think it was probably one of the first ones of its kind. So it was very big and popular at the time. But it just Bart dies. It's just like it very much falls into the tropes of hyperrealism because it was the first of its kind. So hyperrealism wasn't a trope at the time, but like, pass. Last one's Pen Pal. If you haven't heard Pen Pal, go listen to Pen Pal. Listen to where you can find it. Go read the book. There's a novel of Pen Pal that elaborates so much more than what you'll see on YouTube. It's incredible. Incredible story. That's all I'll say. I'll also say there's nobody in it except for like a kid, his mom, and his best friend, and a stalker. And pass. This is a strange video. I've never done this before. If you want to see more weirdness like this during not my birthday day, then go check it out at twitch.tv/MrCreepypasta. This is the weird shit that I do all the time because what else am I gonna do while I'm recording live? Hey, I hope you all enjoyed this, and if not, then it only happens once, so deal with it, I guess. On to the story in another video. Check one out. It's there or there. Things are probably covering up my face right now. I've got an outro that might play after this. Maybe it won't. Who knows? That's entirely up to my editor. He might be putting things over me right now that say things, and you won't be able to see it because I'll probably cover it up with a whole bunch of those little click to videos. Who knows? Have a good night, everybody.